What's up, family? The secret has been revealed, and a lot of Americans are going to be affected by this. In fact, Americans in 50 states. But first, we want to go ahead and start off with a little bit of information in regards to what has happened over this weekend. Tornado warnings are continuing to persist in multiple areas, and we are talking about the Midwestern areas, such as Texas, Oklahoma, the South areas, guys. And these are going to continue throughout the remaining of the Memorial Day weekend. In fact, tornado warnings were issued in parts of Texas and Oklahoma just yesterday and the day before, and it looks like 18 million people have been under a threat of severe storms on Saturday, reaching from Texas to Iowa. In fact, late last night, guys, about 12 a.m., there was another tornado that ended up touching ground in the North Texas area. Unfortunately, we don't have any information on that. We just know that one of my friends was affected by that. Not necessarily sure how that damage was or not, but yes, a tornado did hit somewhat in the North Texas area. In fact, guys, it says right here that Weather Service issues particularly dangerous situations over the weekend. Tornado watch for parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas City. Guys, you already know that this season is not over yet, tornado season, and things are continuing on. Yes, guys, we are continuously seeing tornado watch warning messages, continuing to see tornado issued messages. Guys, it is not stopping, and it doesn't look like it is going to stop anytime soon. Check this article out right here where it says that also over the Memorial Day weekend, severe storms are expected to hit the eastern U.S. areas as well. Look at this particular image right here, guys. Severe storms are projected to hit the eastern U.S. area over the Memorial Day weekend, delivering wind gusts, tornadoes, and increased rainfall to several regions as they celebrate the federal holiday. Thunderstorms and increased showers are expected over parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and the central Texas area. You guys already know I live in Texas, but luckily I was not affected, but it did affect the northern Texas area. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to let you know about that because these particular weather messages will continue to persist throughout today as well as on Monday. Be mindful of that because these tornadoes are popping up very rapidly and popping up more frequently, guys. So we definitely want to be mindful of that and definitely make sure that you know where you are going to take cover in case something actually hits your particular area. This is very important, guys. You need to protect lives. That is the only thing that matters when it comes to a tornado. Forget the house. All of those things can be replaced, but you cannot replace a loved one, guys. So be sure to take care of yourselves and your loved ones out there, guys. If you know someone in these particular areas or other areas that may be prone to receiving one of these tornadoes, definitely make sure you check on them and make sure that they are protected as well. But I at least wanted to let you know about that information today. Moving on, guys, we do need to go ahead and talk about the banks, what we're about to receive or about to hear, about to see coming very soon, guys. We don't necessarily know when this is going to happen, but we do know that it will actually happen, which means the biggest question is whether or not your money is going to be safe in your bank, your local bank, or your bank across the states or the country. But anyways, guys, we are talking about bank failures. We have seen a lot of these pretty much since the pandemic all the way through the year 2023. We haven't necessarily saw any this particular year, but they are coming very soon. Check this article out right here, guys, where it says that U.S. bank failures could surge by about almost 50 more banks. Guys, this is getting a little bit scary because these banks, they hold our treasures, they hold our life savings, they hold all the money that we have tied to our names. I know you guys are the same as me, so I am saying we. But anyways, guys, yes, in this particular article, Nomura is saying that there could be as much as 50 banks going out of business, basically failing themselves as well as the American people. It says right here that almost 50 U.S. lenders could fail in the coming years under pressure from higher interest rates and operational problems, according to a Nomura analyst, Greg Hetrich, which he told reporters earlier this last week, the collapse of 3 U.S. banks last year, Silicon Valley, Signature, and First Republic Bank, sparked some worries about the financial health of regional lenders. Profits at smaller institutions could be squeezed if U.S. interest rates decline this year because the banks will need to pay higher rates to customers to keep their money parked in their accounts, because we all know that after we saw those other 3 banks fail, individuals, Americans, they started to pull their money out of the banks because they didn't necessarily trust the banks for this particular reason. So anyways, those particular deposits are expensive, and there is a concern about whether or not that funding will remain at the smaller institution once rates start to come back down once again. According to the analysts, declining rates could trigger outflows that lead to bank failures, he said, without specifying a particular time frame. And like I told you guys, we don't necessarily know if this is going to be this year in 2024 or 2025, but I would almost assume that we will see at least one bank failure this year, and then probably multiple to follow in the year of 2025. So anyways, geographically, concentrations could lead lenders more exposed to local economic problems, while operational concerns include taking greater risk or letting expenses rise way too much. So anyways, guys, yes, this is a major concern that you, myself, as well as other people, banks, lenders, and all of these sorts, we need to be mindful of this, guys. We definitely need to pay attention to this. Do not ignore this, because we have a huge collapse right before us. It could happen very quickly, just like we saw the last 3 banks happen very quickly. But anyways, guys, just to prove it to you, we recently heard from the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, in which he also made the statement a couple of months ago where he said that there will be bank failures caused by commercial real estate losses. What does that mean? We are talking about the commercial real estate business, in which we already know that since the pandemic, a lot of people are just working from home now. No more going into the office, no more occupying that space in those offices, in which companies are just sitting on those office spaces and they're not using them. So the biggest question is, do they pay them or do they default on that commercial real estate? Anyways, according to the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, he said Thursday that he expects to see some banks fail due to their exposure to the commercial real estate sector, which has declined significantly in value following the shift to remote work. Powell said that banks that are in trouble with falling office space and retail assets are not the big banks. We're not talking about the big banks, guys, which were designated as systemically important in the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis. That episode, which resulted in a taxpayer bailout of the financial sector, was also triggered by unsound real estate assets. Rather, the banks at risk of failure now, Powell identified as smaller and medium-sized banks. That is very important as well. There is a problem we'll be working on for years more. I'm sure of that. There will be bank failures, he said during a Thursday hearing on the Fed's monetary policy in the Senate Banking Committee. It's not a first order issue for any of the very large banks such as JP Morgan or Chase Bank or Bank of America, those big banks. It's more smaller and medium-sized banks that have these issues. We're working with them. We're getting through it. I think it's manageable is the word I would use. It is manageable. Pay attention to that word, guys. Powell didn't go into great detail about the specific regulatory actions regarding commercial real estate exposure that are now being undertaken by the Fed, which is both the federal currency issuer and one of the primary bank supervising agencies, though he did went on to say that he had identified the banks who at most risk at this particular time. So again, we are hearing this from multiple people. We are seeing the signs right in front of us with the previous banks having bank failures, and now we are hearing it directly from the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, which he did say that there will be bank failures, not necessarily that there might be. He said that there will be, but it's very important to pay attention to this, guys, that he is not talking about the bigger banks. He is only talking about the small to medium sized banks, which a lot of times that is the banks that we are actually using in our neighborhoods, our local communities. Those are the ones that are holding our money, that we are putting trust in them. And they are saying that if these interest rates come down and they need to hold on to those bank deposits, things could actually shift. If people start pulling their money out too fast, guys, you need to pay attention to this. But anyways, right here we see this article by JP Morgan Chase Bank, which says, this article is back in 2023. It says that our bank's vulnerable to a crisis in commercial real estate. This article was actually written on April the 12th of 2023. It says that fears are rising about regional banks' exposure to commercial real estate loans. How worried should you be? Well, guys, I would say it all depends. Do you have your money in your local banks? Do you have your money in a small bank? Do you have your money in a medium-sized bank? If you have your money in Bank of America or Chase Bank, you're probably safe. Those are the largest banks in the world. However, if you had something in such as a Silicon Valley Bank, it was a small bank in comparison to the mega banks, but anyways, they ended up going belly up. So anyways, articles like this are on JP Morgan's website. And then we have right here a full entire list of all of the failed banks that are out there, guys. And we're not just talking about here recently since the pandemic. There's actually been other banks that have actually failed prior to the pandemic. But we'll just go over just a few of them right now. As you can see in this particular list, guys, we see that the last one that actually went belly up, which was last month in April the 26th, which was Republic First Bank, DBA Republic Bank. And then prior to that, Citizens Bank, which was in November of last year. And then we have Heartland, Tri-State Bank, First Republic Bank, Signature Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, Abilene State Bank, First City Bank of Florida, the First State Bank, Erickson State Bank. Yes, guys, and these are going back to 2020, right after the pandemic. But guys, again, look at this particular list, guys. We are just looking at the beginning of the list. But if we change this right here to go ahead and look at all 100 plus banks that have actually failed, as well as failed the American people, guys, we have this list going all the way back to no telling, guys. As you can see it, I'm particularly scrolling through. We are back in 2008 right here, guys, going all the way back to October 13th of the year of 2000, which was the Bank of Honolulu. So anyways, guys, yes, this is a very large list, which goes to show you that no bank, guys, is safe out there. Guys, this is a huge crisis on our hands, and we need to be prepared for this because you never know when your local bank in your local community down the road from your house, which means that you might have money sitting in that savings account or that checking account at that local bank, guys. It could mean that you are at a major risk because you never know when one of these small banks or these medium-sized banks is going to call it quits because they pretty much run out of money. So anyways, guys, like I said, in regards to the commercial real estate, take a look at this right here, which happened in my home city. Anyways, it says that the tallest building in Texas, it ended up selling for an astonishingly low price. And what I mean by low price is, guys, this particular building is called Burnett Plaza. I actually used to work in this particular building as well, so that is pretty interesting. But anyways, guys, this particular building is a 40-story building, which is very large. Guys, check this out right here. This building was sold about 3+ years ago for $137 million. And guess what, guys? Just this last month or the month before, it ended up selling for only $12.3 million. Can you imagine the person that bought this for $137 million? He pretty much lost all of that, guys. Close to 90% of value of this building that you bought for $137 million, and then you just had to sell it for $12.3 million. Why even sell it at this point, guys? It's pretty much a complete loss. You've lost almost 90% of the value that you paid for this huge, one of the largest buildings in the city, guys, you ended up losing the value, about 90% value of this particular building. So like I said, guys, this is just one example of how worried we are in regards to the commercial real estate business. And some bank might own this particular loan, which means that the bank has to lose that money as well, guys. So if you continue to see more of that happen and trickle down, that is what's going to cause some of these banks to end up failing. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to let you guys know that, because this is going to affect millions of Americans in pretty much 50 states. It does not exclude any of the banks, guys. We just saw the Bank of Honolulu ended up failing back in the year of 2000. Yes. So it doesn't mean that any bank in the 50 states will not be failing anytime soon. We need to be aware of this, be mindful of that. Make sure, this is one thing that you can do, guys. Make sure that your bank that you have your money invested in or your money at, make sure that they are FDIC insured. Now, don't just go by some sign or what your friend told you. Look online, guys. Go research the information. You can always go to the bank's website, look on there, make sure that they are FDIC insured, because that is going to protect your money just in case the bank falters on its responsibilities. And we definitely don't want you to lose your money. I don't want to lose my money, guys. So I need to make sure that I'm protected as well. My family members, my friends, you guys out there watching this video, you definitely need to be mindful of this, because like I said in the article, guys, this could affect people, millions of Americans in all 50 states. You need to be mindful of this. Protect yourself right now. But anyways, guys, what do you think about this? Are you a little bit afraid of this because you are at risk, because you have your money in the bank? I wouldn't necessarily say that putting your money in a mattress is safer, but you need to be mindful of what bank you're banking with and the issues with that particular bank. So anyways, guys, I would love to get your thoughts on this. Take the time right now to comment down below. Let me know what you feel about this. Also, hit the like button for me. It really helps out this video. And then if you haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, guys. Budget Bill, I really appreciate it. I always say thank you to all of my followers out there who continue to watch these videos. And as always, I hope to see you on the next video.